So we want to do a demo. So I just want to kind of highlight what you're going to see and kind of how this process works, and then we're going to showcase the tool. So this like most online shopping, the youth will be able to browse what's available, and so we're keeping that inventory. We just created a basic demo so that not all of the items are in the store. We wanted to just be able to showcase how it could work, so everyone can have a tangible context for the solution. The students will pick the youth will pick what they want, and based on their need and their interests, they will add that to their cart. They'll submit their request, and then they'll be able to have that procured and packaged so that they can pick it up at the Y.E.S Center. So, and everything is just a click, right? Not just on the desktop, but on the mobile phone. So they can actually do it from anywhere that they're at as well. Okay, so here's the homepage that we put together. This certainly can be customized. We just want to give a sense of how it could work. If you look at the very top, you can see that we basically have four categories that they can shop from. There's food, there's clothing, there's household items, and then there's personal items. Now, this is again can be customized to whatever the categories we want. If we add things like electronics or school supplies, all of those things can be categorized and easily managed, so that again, to minimize the time that anyone has to do in terms of searching. Also, you can see that there's a search bar with the microphone. Again, very similar to other search bars where they can either pick categories or items that they're looking for, and the system will go and find that for them. They have a profile page, which is the next one. We'll show that in a minute. They have things that they like. They can put a heart on, and then also that's their cart at the end. We've put a couple of items in the cart just to make sure that we can move quickly through the demonstration for today's purposes. So this is the top. So we can provide again that very similar graphic we showed you about the four steps so that they're educated about the process. And then we have beneath that just kind of the feature products that are available. And these are the actual products that are in the store. We're very thankful for a partnership that we have with the Division of Rehabilitative Services, that we're able to have an intern that was helping on site, that basically was part of that program, doing an internship to gain work experience, contribute to this. So that's really at the essence of the kinetic potential model, is that we're having people help people help people. We're training people how to be in the workforce by having them help other people. So we're very social impact is really important. So this young lady, her name was Elliot, basically was able to help organize the store and then transition to helping to capture this content, the pictures, the definitions, and upload that into this online store. So these are the actual items that are in the store. You can see how easy it is in terms of the visibility, and as opposed to seeing 30 of these on the shelf or 40 on the shelf, I see one picture, I know what it is, and if it's in stock, I'll be able to get it. If it's not, then I can make a request and kind of get on the backlog for that. So if I didn't see what I was looking for, I could basically use the search bar and then go and see if something is missing. And so now I can see that there are three types of beans. There are black beans from Goya, we got Del Monte's fresh cut green beans, and mixed vegetables. And so this is how simple this can be. And you can also see on the left that the system is also recognizing me that recently ordered some chili and some blue jeans, probably what's in my cart. I can add things to my cart from here, or I can go back. Okay, so we added the chili to the shopping cart. And then you can see it's just as simple. You see where it says add to cart for the shirt. And now we have the options in terms of choosing the color, whatever color is in available, and the size. So let's pick any size, large, and now let's add that to the cart. So again, particularly for the clothing items where there's a lot of different jeans, we don't want the youth to have to come in and kind of sort through that. We don't want the staff to have to try to maintain that. Like we want it to be logged once it comes in, and then to know that it's available. And then as we organize it, it's easy for us to find things and know what we have and what we don't. Okay, so that's just a quick example of how we could actually do the shopping and to select the items we want. Now we've got these items in our cart. Again, notice that these items again are no cost and the summary that's on the right, no taxes, no anything like that. And so we can now go proceed to checking out. Now, every student, every youth would register in the system, and so they would be able to, we have their information on file. So in this case, uh, we've used my name in this case, Jim Smith. It's and the shipping address, right? The pickup location is going to be at the Yes Center and have the address there. And so now we've got these two items, and we know where it's going to be picked up at, and we can go choose next. Okay, so there's even though it has the billing information are the same, but there's no cost, so there's nothing to you don't need to add any billing information, so we can proceed to the order. Then, obviously, in a traditional e-store, most of these functions in terms of the payment method and the cost would be there. So here you can see now we have a unique order number, so that it helps us to be able to track. And we'll show you a little bit on the back end in terms of some of the reporting, the operational side in just a second. So people can either continue to shop, but ultimately they've gotten an email with confirmation of their order, and we'll be able to show, I think, that too. So and I know it's a little small, but here's an example of the order. I don't know, can we make that a little larger? Yeah, that's a little bit better. Yeah, that's good. So thank you for your order in the general store. You can see the same order number. You can see where it's going to be shipped to in terms of where they're going to pick it up at, and you can see it's here. So this is basically a summary. Now, this can also be customized so that it can be shared with maybe the advocate or the guardian or someone who is the um, adult in terms of helping to support this young person, so that there can be coordination. Also, that and the staff at the Yes Center, whoever's kind of administering, they would also get notification that an order was placed with the same details. Okay. So hopefully you can see in terms of that this is really focused on terms of how to empower the youth, make it more available to them 24 by 7, make it just easier for them. So feels like shopping, right? Not charity. The pantries I think have a negative connotation, and so I think going on an online store, you just feel like you're shopping. So I think that that's empowering as well. And we think that just kind of the experience of kind of doing it, building the digital literacy and their own self advocacy, where they're now able to kind of more self manage that, and we can teach them, how to do that shopping online. And I think you'll get more engagement. It's more accessible. I can do it from my phone. I don't have to come to the Yes Center. So we think that this will allow it to actually expand and grow. And also, I think as a tool to be able to communicate with the statistics, for partners in terms of what actually is needed so that there's better alignment. So it's not just about getting the kind of the clothes and support, but it's about making sure that we're really, you know, focused, youth centered, and making sure that they see this respect and that they have all these choices. And so, not to suggest that they don't have that now, but again, we want to meet them where they're at and give them a tool that we think will empower them. So that's kind of the user experience in terms of the shopper, right? In this case, the youth. And what I would say in terms of the operational side, in terms of how the agency benefits, it's just the efficiency of it and the reduced workload to actually administer this and to help grow it. So with lots of partners coming in and also the items with this store, you can also track like what partner gave what and how many they gave. So that also is all centralized in one place, not only what you have, but where did it come from? Who's the vendor for this info? Who's the vendor for these resources? The community partner equal vendor in this case. Um, just reduce manual work. I think right now, as I understood it, is that we're using kind of Excel spreadsheets, and there's a lot of potential for user error. And a student came in, I was busy, just get something. So we want to make sure that we have an efficient process that allows us to actually track and manage and have control over the systems. Um, the information about what do you need. If a partner says, hey, what do you need us to get, we want to be able to have that data driven so that we can look at the reports. Hey, we're low on this, or we spend, this is what the students use the most, so we need this to be replenished more frequently. And again, it's just, it can scale in terms of more users, right? In terms of, can only have certain amount of people coming in. It's a very small pantry right now, so maybe you can have two or three people at a time, but you can have lots, as many as you want. It's really unlimited how many can be shopping simultaneously, and then scheduling and for pickups, and then a little bit more order, putting bags aside. I think that you will just find that this is going to be a little bit more efficient. So we want to show you a little bit about the reports in terms of what kind of things you can see to give some context for that. Because oftentimes I think a lot of people are familiar with shopping online, but maybe not the back end if they're not administering a platform like this. So let's share what that looks like. So this is just a catalog of the type of reports that are available. So we've got marketing reports, and that we're not going to really touch on today. Reviews, right? What are the youth saying about the products and who's saying what? Sales, what are the orders that are coming in? I think that's one of the big ones for this. And then what customers, what do they have? How many customers, how many people are using it? I think also if you're looking for additional funding to be able to talk to a funder about kind of the utilization of the pantry, this will help us be in that position. And then in terms of products, which I think is around the inventory, what's the best sellers in the low stocks. So just in the interest of time, we're going to just do a couple of reports, but I just wanted to make sure we gave you a view of the widespread. Given the inventory is probably one of the bigger ones. So with this report, now we can also automate this report so that we could actually have it sent out on a frequency. So we could actually customize this. So every Monday you get a report, or every day you get a report, or you can come in here and directly as an administrator and do what we're doing now and basically put in a day. So this is a period, is kind of a monthly view versus what happened every day. So this is going to give us, this is just 1 month. So you can see, we just did a couple of transactions. So you can see in terms of the order quantities. So you can see what products are actually selling and how many. So in this case, the bar of soap and the Adidas running shoes, those we've gotten three of those versus the polo neck dark blue shirt, which we just ordered, and and the cup of noodles. These, you can see just the differences, but also there are 14 total quantities. So as this grows across that platform, you can see how much easier it is to automate this process and have the system doing the calculation and the tracking than to basically uh, have any of the staff members dedicating any time to do this. And you can have an intern be the administrator. This will simplify, what's necessary. So really, I think to take the burden off the staff. We can also export this, right? So if someone wants to know what's the best sellers and what we need, we can actually send them a report, and so they can see for themselves. This is what's selling. This is what people need. Maybe working with the grocery store or somewhere else. So lots of opportunities for that. From a low stock report, you can see now we can set the order quantity. What does low mean, right? That's a subjective term. So what we're saying, anything that's below 10 is low stock. And so this is basically telling us, how many are left. the things just one, the things with two. So again, we know that we need to replenish those items, and whatever that threshold we decide is, it could be 20, it could be 50, whatever that number is. And it doesn't have to be the same for every product, right? So this gives us the ability to customize. Well, we know that bars of soap are big sellers, so we don't want to get down to just 10. We want to know when we got 25 so that we can, because those are going so quickly. We don't want to run out versus something that the Adidas sneakers, maybe we don't need as many of those. And so it could be five. So, but it does, and we could help in terms of customize getting those type of things set up and the configuration of the store. But this would now give us the specific item as well as the total quantity that's available. Yeah, let's do order count. Okay, so basically what we want to see here is how many orders did we get, right? So we talked about the products themselves in terms of what's selling, what's our best selling products, and when we got low stock. But if we want to know in terms of the youth engagement, in terms of, well, how many orders did we get this month, or how frequently are youth coming in? We can see like, okay, we've got this person has 7 orders, this person has 6 orders, this person has. So you also see not only how many orders, but you see by the individual how many orders were placed there. So we think that this is also effective to know who's using it, maybe who needs more engagement, to encourage them to participate in this. But again, lots of data that's available. Why don't we do customer review by product? So this will also let you know what people are saying about the products. So if we want to look at what people say, this is a very good product, the beans were fresh, flavorful, I really enjoyed it. But if you see that you're getting negative remarks, low reviews by the youth, you may not want to continue that product, or maybe the what people are volunteering and providing may not be meeting exactly the need, and so you might have to have a conversation with the community partner about their products, or maybe products that are different, that are not being received quite as well. So lots of ways to use this, and this is what we mean by data driven, to use this information to better manage the process and to have the staff focusing on higher order functions, partner collaboration, as opposed to kind of the administration, the day to day of the store. So hopefully, what we've showcased kind of helps place this into context about how the inventory tracking could work, and that how the data-driven insights can help you manage the partners in the process better, and that this will be much less work for the staff, and even if they're interns, whoever, just the manual nature of it will be reduced because now you're focusing on letting the technology kind of help with the orders, and you don't have to continue to clean up the store because the youth came in and now it's disheveled. So someone's got to get it back organized. And then it's that scalable. You're going from having 2 or 3 people who can shop at one time to as many people as you want can shop at one time. And now you're focusing on just the exchange of the goods to that person when they come in. That's a much quicker process. This is your order. This is your bag. Welcome to look through it. But we can focus our time on more of the advisory services. So if you think someone's coming in and shopping and spending, I don't know, 30 minutes, 45 minutes going through and picking out what they want, imagine how that time can be repurposed. And we think that that is really the strength and the value proposition. So we're looking forward to chatting more about this, and hope that you appreciated what we believe the vision of where we think the pantry can go if we can make it an e-store. Again, I'm Jim Smith, as my colleague Rohit, and we are super excited to have shown this. So I think that's the end of our demo. Thanks so much.